All right. Well, thank you, everybody, for being part of today's event and celebration. I'm Caitlin McGuire. I'm the Executive Director of the STEM Action Center, and it is my pleasure to announce that the STEM Action Center is collaborating with Amazon Web Services to train, upskill, and certify 2,000 Idahoans in cloud computing over the next 2 years. These course offerings that we're partnering on are designed for high school students and higher education students, as well as adults who want to reskill and re-enter the workforce. And the curriculum prepares students to take the Amazon Web Service certification test, which is required for many jobs in Idaho communities. Cloud computing, as many of you in this room know, is a highly sought-after skill set. In 2020, in the U.S., there were 5.3 million unfilled vacancies in the United States alone. And Idaho is not alone in that. We are not unique. There were over 11,000 unfilled cloud computing jobs from July of 2020 to June of 2021. And as I said, many of you in this room know how that is to have those unfilled jobs. The STEM Action Center is excited to be partnering with AWS as well as many critical stakeholders across the state, such as the Idaho Workforce Development Council, the State Board of Education, Career and Technical Education, the State Department of Education, as well as many institutes of higher education. This initiative came about through conversations between the Workforce Development Council and Amazon Web Services because of the identified need in the state. And through those conversations, they recognize that the STEM Action Center is uniquely positioned to bring together the educational stakeholders as well as components to make this a success in Idaho. So over the next year, the program will roll out to public secondary and post-secondary students. But before we do that, we will offer professional development to educators. And thanks to Amazon Web Services, this training to educators is free, as well as the curriculum at no cost, and the certification fees have been waived. Many of our higher education institutions are already rolling out this program, and we'll hear from them in a moment. But first, I'd like to introduce Governor Brad Little, who will speak on how this great program will help our wonderful state. So Governor Little, thank you.
Thank you. Well, thank you, Caitlin. All the work that you and the STEM Action Center and Workforce Development Council, as Idaho's economy, being an old Idaho industry person, as it modernizes, these programs are really critical for me to meet my goal, and that's that our kids stay here if they can afford a house. That wasn't in my script, but when we toured the fulfillment center, they were pitching me on the educational stuff, and I'm very pleased that, and this is a very bold goal to do 2,000 in 2 years. So, you let us know what we can do to help, but by all the players you have in this room, it sounds like you got that already figured out. So we do, and just last week, as an example, I was down in Idaho Falls. We rolled out our cybersecurity task force, and frankly, I got a couple calls from other governors about, all these things are happening everywhere, and you fully understand that all at once, but it's critical for Idaho to be on offense instead of defense on these jobs. So I want to thank you. Some of the statistics that Greg prepared for me is that there's 16,846 job postings. Oh, somebody just got a job, 45, never mind. And 12.8% are very unique to the field that we're talking about today. But it's ubiquitous across all of industry in Idaho. Everybody is in one way, shape, or form. They probably don't realize that they're using your product, but they are using your product. And for not only in the narrow field of web services, but all the affiliated industries that are there, both our traditional ones and the ones that are brand new and the ones that probably nobody's thought about except some smart guy or gal out there today. But we're just delighted to have the partnership and for what the STEM Action Center have done. I will tell you that the people that put the STEM Action Center, one of them is going to be in this room here in a little bit for a meeting with me this morning, would be delighted that this is one of the things that the Workforce Development Council and the STEM Action Center. So congratulations, and thank you, Doctor.
Thank you, Governor Little. At this point, I'd like to introduce Aaron Osmond, who is the Education to Workforce U.S. lead for Amazon Web Services. Thanks, Aaron.
Well, it is an absolute pleasure for us to be here today as Amazon Web Services. This partnership with the Workforce Council and with the STEM Action Center and with the state's education system is extremely important to us, and I want to be able to articulate a little bit about why. Amazon Web Services started 15 years ago, and I know that I'm speaking to the choir in this room because you are all from industry and from education, and you understand the impact of what's happened relative to cloud and cloud services. 15 years ago, Amazon Web Services started its cloud services offering. And now Amazon Web Services is the largest cloud service provider in the world. And cloud itself is fundamentally changing industry. It's changing every industry, Governor, as you articulated. And from our perspective, it's enabling equity in industry as well. It's allowing the smallest, hottest tech company with the opportunity to be able to compete against the largest, most well-known enterprise. It's creating ubiquity and access because it's removing the cost of infrastructure and the upfront investment required to really enable technology to support their businesses. That fundamental transition is affecting every industry and creating millions of jobs. The concern we have at AWS, though, is pretty straightforward. We do not want to see this amazing pace of innovation and change in industry to outpace workforce readiness. And unfortunately, that's exactly what's happening right now. From the smallest company to the largest enterprise, they are struggling to find qualified talent. The sheer scale and speed of the move to cloud is really unknown by industry. They don't really understand it until they face it, when they try to make that migration happen. And they realize their challenge isn't budget. Their challenge isn't access to financial resources or infrastructure. It's people, the most important asset that we could possibly have to spur economic development and growth both here in Idaho and across the country. So from our perspective, this is the most important area to invest. We see that in order for us to be successful as a company, and in order for our customers, AWS customers and integrators, many of you in this room, we have to invest together in ensuring the future of a cloud-ready workforce. So in that spirit, we're partnering with great leaders in various states, including Idaho. We're super excited about Idaho, especially because that represents such a unique and diverse economy, from rural economy, Governor, as you talked about, and then the new upcoming tech economy that's building here. We see an opportunity to build a workforce of the future, and this is how we plan to do it. We will partner with education. Now, some people say, education is disconnected. Education does not understand the needs of industry. Education is not really focused on preparing employees or students for the workforce. They're more focused on the humanities and the overall readiness of the individual. We completely disagree. What we're seeing in education is transformational. There is a career readiness mindset that's happening across the country, and it's happening right here in Idaho, and that's what we want to achieve. So our goal is very simple. We will start first with the educators themselves, enabling our educators to become trained and certified on cloud services. Get them excited about the technology and its potential impact, not only on industry, but on education as well. And then turn it over to them to become the champions to help spur the excitement and enthusiasm for the students through a cloud workforce strategy that starts in high school and goes all the way through to college. So our goal today is to say thank you. Thank you for your commitment to partner with us in enabling this, that over the next 2 years, we're going to train and certify 2,000 students in cloud technologies. But even more important, we're going to expose the power of cloud and cloud technology to thousands more who may never be certified, but will understand the business, marketing, and sales value of cloud to change their businesses. And with that, I'll turn it back over to Caitlin. Thanks so much, you guys.
Okay, thank you so much, Aaron. It is now my pleasure to bring forth our representative from College of Eastern Idaho, Jeff Snedden, who will talk about the higher education institution's involvement in this program. Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you, Aaron, and thank you, Dr. McGuire. Good segue to follow this young man here. Because one of the things that the institutions recognize is exactly what Aaron said, which is why we're transforming, which is why we're here today. So we're honored to speak on behalf of the education institutions in this sector today. And I'm pleased to announce that there's a growing number of educational institutions and organizations that are participating in this program. At College of Eastern Idaho, or CEI, we will be offering AWS Fundamentals this fall. And to develop the career pathways, our plan is to expand our programs to the next level of AWS training in 2022 to make sure that there's a continual pathway. Idaho Career and Technical Education is embedding the curriculum from AWS education programs into 2 of its courses, Web Design and Development and Programming and Software Development Pathways. College of Western Idaho has hired an instructor and will begin its foundation course November 9th. They are moving quickly. Idaho State University is implementing AWS training within its business technology program, pending approval from the State Board of Education in October, and will most likely begin offering the new certification program during spring 2022 semester. Lewis Clark State College has also expressed interest, and participation will be in the near future. And Boise State University and Brigham Young University, Idaho, have implemented similar AWS education programs on their own. Why is CEI excited to participate in this program? We have seen the great need for this skill set, as Aaron mentioned. For example, cloud technology skills and adoption have grown substantially in our region over the last decade, and we're just now starting to train, so we got to catch up. I think we're there. The collaboration with AWS will help academia meet this growing need. CEI's own technical advisory committees that are made up of local businesses, they've been increasingly asking for more skilled workers in cloud technologies in general. Hence, again, I keep going back to Aaron because it's a perfect setup. That's where they're turning their minds and their businesses. We need to jump ahead to get those people employed and have the skill sets to be able to meet that need. So this couldn't have been better timing. CEI and the other colleges and institutions have listened and were responding to the workforce needs. We're excited to offer this program to our students and the communities. CEI's mission is to provide open access to affordable quality education, and partnering with AWS will assist us in this effort. AWS Academy has no cost or reduced costs on training and certification exams for both educators and students, making these an attractive method to train and validate knowledge and skills where resources that can be so scarce. AWS also allows for and encourages partnerships between K-12 and post-secondary institutions. This will help to allow and enable a coordinated training model. Collaborating with AWS will enable CEI and the other colleges and universities to further support the cyber talent pipeline between education and business in Idaho. Thank you. And I would now like to introduce Nick Krabs, Chief Community Officer at Vinyl.
Well, thank you so much, Jeff, and of course we're very excited to be invited to speak here today, so thank you, the STEM Action Center, the Governor's Office, VINIA. So if you all look to your agendas, I'm now scheduled to speak for 60 minutes and give you a rundown of the merits between on-prem and AWS, so here we go. No, listen, I mean, the truth is we all owe Amazon and AWS a lot of gratitude. We used to sit in the basement with all the servers. It was very dark. It was a very dark place, and so they've brought us to the light. Listen, I'm really here to just talk about a couple things that I think are important for all of us to remember. One, cloud computing is very new. 15 years is not that long in terms of workforce development and skill building in the workplace, and so I think 5 years ago, we started getting our staff certified as part of our plan, moving our staff, working on this stuff. And the truth is, we do a lot of cloud migrations as a consultancy at Vinyl. And so that's a big part of our business, is making sure that we can go in and advise and talk to people about why that's the right move for their business. And it really does make a difference. I mean, certainly it's available now from startups all the way to enterprises. And we see today really why this is so timely is that you have hospitals, you have all these more traditional businesses that are not tech companies who are now taking advantage of this infrastructure. And I think that's a very important reason why this program is so timely at the moment. The other thing I think that's interesting to look at is what the pandemic taught us about what the future of work probably looks like. And the truth is again, we've now moved away from the servers, thank you again, and we can work really anywhere. I mean, there's no reason we have to be sitting at a desk in a building at any particular location. So I think this is a wonderful opportunity for rural Idaho, which sometimes is left out of these conversations, and that's important that we are supporting the rest of the state. The other thing is I'm really excited to see so many other industry partners here from Intuit and Simplot. I think that shows that this is a program that we in industry are very excited about. And I hope to see this continue to grow and other programs to be rolled out because we know that the talent pipeline and the shortage that we're facing down the road is going to really, potentially inhibit our ability to grow here in Idaho. And so when we see programs like this, we're very encouraged because that tells us that we're going to have the pipeline that we need to hire. So with that, wanted to keep it short. Thank you again for inviting us to speak, and I'll hand it back over to Dr. McGuire.
Thank you, Nick, and thank you to all of our speakers, all of the partners in the room, the AWS team, the STEM Action Center team. Thank you, Governor Little, for being here today and supporting this effort, and everyone else for attending, again, and bringing this opportunity to Idaho and being so involved to bring this to our students, our teachers, and our community members.